For this week, we'll be learning data cleaning in Excel. In our previous class, we learned Excel basic function, Excel interface, and then we're going to be leveraging on some of those things for our cleaning process. For this content, basically, we'll be learning data cleaning techniques. Now, let me drop this. Let me see this before we go in further into the class. For every cleaning techniques we are learning, all this cleaning process or techniques basically are applied to every of the softwares: Excel, SQL, Power BI, Python, basically on how you can actually navigate or how you can use it. Now, note that all these techniques actually works for all softwares, and also you can actually change every step of the techniques, probably the process, depending on the kind of data set you are working with. Some data set doesn't have too much errors, some have errors and all like that. So your application is dependent on the kind of the data set you are using. So let's go into today's class. We are going to be learning the practical aspect after this few explanations so that we get the proper learning. Now let's move on. What is data cleaning? Data cleaning is the process of identifying and correcting errors, inconsistencies, and inaccuracies in a data set. This is just cleaning your data for use. Now, it is an essential step in data analysis because it ensures that data set is accurate, complete, and ready for analysis. Yes, as I said the other time, that data cleaning is just making your data ready for use. Note this, that data cleaning is the backbone of all the analysis. It is 80% of data analysis. If you can clean your data very well, make it ready for analysis, your analysis journey will be very, very smooth. Note, data cleaning for each data set differs depending on the desired result, but there are basic cleaning needed to be done. So let's move. Now let's learn the data cleaning techniques before we go into the practical aspect. Now, when you want to clean any data set, irrespective of the software you are using, number one thing you need to understand, you have to remove duplicates. Now, the purpose of removing duplicates is to avoid double counting so that you have an accurate result. You don't have issues with double counting and not have issues with doubting the data set. So, example includes removing duplicate customer IDs like that. So, when we get to practical aspects, you will get to know how to remove duplicates in your data set. Now, also, handling missing values. Sometimes you might have values, you might have data set where the values might be missing. The number one thing you do is that you can reach out to probably your supervisor or somebody that is um, in charge of this data set and ask that we have missing values like that. So they can if they have a data set or how you can get your data, you get it that way. If not, when you're cleaning your data, if you have a data where they are string or they are numbers, there's a way you handle them. For example, if you have it in form of numbers, you use the mean. Probably you have the age of a people, age of someone or set of people. What you do is that you get the mean. So when you calculate your mean, you replace your missing values with your mean. That is the average. Also, if you are working with probably string, you use your mode, like the number of occurring products or values like that. In string, you use your mode, your mean. That is how you deal with removing um or handling missing values. Sometimes you can actually flag them too, so that you can actually see if they are missing or not, depending on your aim and objective. Now, note this: your aim and objective of the analysis will determine how you handle these values. Now, the next thing is standardizing data formats, like ensuring a consistent format, like dates, like your proper case, title case. Okay, fine. This is how it should be arranged throughout the data. You have to make it like that. So all your data sets are in the same data format. Please you ensure that. Now the next thing is correcting typos or inconsistencies like spelling errors. For example, when you have data sets that has New York, New York or short form, you have to correct spelling errors. It must be consistent. If, for example, if you have January in full and some parts you have January like it is a short form, you're going to be doing practical aspects, so you get to understand that. And then you have it as small letter JAN. You have to correct it so that everything will be in the same order. Good. Now, for the next thing, you need to remove irrelevant data. I told you that time I said the aim and objective will actually determine the kind of cleaning process you are going through. Sometimes you don't necessarily do the cleaning for everything if it is not needed. If you're working with a database, you can actually query what you need, bring it out, then clean what you need, then give the analysis. So when you do the analysis, then you give your report. You don't need to clean all the whole big large data. So it's dependent on what you need. And sometimes you can remove irrelevant data. Sometimes when you bring it to Excel, probably using your Power Query and all like that, or there's a column you don't need, you can remove it. You can remove some middle name and all like that. So far, it will not affect your analysis. The major thing is getting to know your aim and objective and then solving problem. Now, the next thing is filtering outliers. Now, when you identify extreme values like the values greater than $1 million and all like that, you have to put them in the same format, like in the same arrangement, so that you the one will not be longer than each other and all like that. Now, validating data type. Now, this is very important. Ensuring you have a correct data type. For example, that's why we learned all this boolean and all data types like that, true and false, and then different data types. If your data is numeric, you make it numeric. I'll be showing us how we're going to do that. Although I show us when we did our basic function, like the when we learned basic functions and interface, when we learned our interface, like I showed us how we can actually do it. So having your string in probably a country, having it in date, time, and all like that, currencies in percentage, you need to validate those data types. Validate them so that if you are doing any calculated values, calculated columns, you are creating your own measures. You can actually create your measures without having any issue. Don't forget what I said. What I said is that data cleaning is 80% of data analysis. If you can clean your data, you're almost done with your work. So let's read the practical aspects of this class.